Hey everyone, welcome to Was That in Good Taste?
2023?
2023. Welcome back. And welcome's all around. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chandler. We're here talking about things. With me is the other host. And honestly, he does so much more than
Hi,
host.
I'm James.
But we got some real fun stuff to get into today. We are drinking a fun little rum called the Real Mccoy.
We're drinking. This guy, you're the kid. You do stand up? We're drinking.
We're drinking
The Real McCoy.
the Real.
The Real McCoy.
If you want to learn more about the Real McCoy,
Dance for me.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and listen to the Behind the Bar episode that corresponds with this alcohol, so you can get a little bit more in-depth ideas and opinions on this delicious rum here. The reason we're drinking the Real McCoy is because our topic of the day is fake history. So in a world of fake history, we find ourselves grounded in the real McCoy.
In the Real McCoy. Oh, I like that, actually.
Yeah. It was a stretch earlier, but when I put it like that, it kind of works.
Wow.
Interesting.
Man, that really connects with me. I'm really glad that we have here this Prohibition Tradition Limited Edition.
It's in great condition.
I'm glad this was their submission.
You know, I'd ask how much it costs, but I have intuition.
I end up drinking too much of this. I'll end up in this position.
That's your disposition.
It's a callback to a thing you haven't seen yet, or you have seen,
And then you know what it is that you can kind of get in
and you feel cool.
on the
You tell your friends, be like, "Yo,
we name rhyming things. It's
Start saying-
silly. It's
just
fun.
go up to them, don't give any context, and go disposition,
Huh?
and they'll just look at
Limited
you.
edition. Tuition.
We definitely have to do very quickly.
Yeah.
We have to catch up.
Yeah.
It's a whole new year.
It's a whole new year.
Wow.
We made it. We did it. We did it this long.
Oh,
It's yeah, so how you been? How's things? How's life?
I don't do anything. I literally. I'm not gonna lie. I've done the same since you went to the faraway places. I've literally done nothing but the same thing that you did when you were here. I just go to work. I come home. There are some other things in there,
And you watch wrestling?
and I watch wrestling and I play League of Legends, and I've been reading a lot, a few good books. Definitely been doing a thing where I just kind of like pick out books from women artists. Lessons in Chemistry, top of the New York Times best sellers list, I think, for like 14 weeks straight. Absolutely amazing.
My mom actually got that for my grandma for
I had an
Christmas.
absolute feeling amazing. Seasonal Work, which is a book of short stories about women. It's kind of written by this kind of mystery author. And I don't know what she does is crazy. The reason I haven't finished that book yet is because some of these stories, gut punch.
Oof.
Gut punch.
Just right.
And I actually, this is like an honorable mention because I do fucking audiobooks, and there's a fucking audiobook that I have that I don't remember the name of.
Oh.
But it's okay because I just downloaded Audible and I can open it and I can look at it right now after I press the button, and then fuck, I quit now because it's taking me too long.
Oh.
It's good though.
I
It's a
think
good
it's-
book.
I think it's good that you're getting into reading more books. I've been trying to read more books as well.
Like what? What are you reading?
Fuck, didn't expect to get this far.
All My Rage.
And the ruse.
The name of
the name of your book is All My Rage.
the name of the book is All My Rage, and wow, I like how they don't have a description page. It's about some kids, and I can't tell you because it's sad, and you'll be like, and it's like about little brown kids. It's about brown kids who like their parents die and shit, and people die, and like they get drugs and abuse and racism, and you read it, and while you're reading,
real sad.
as you're reading it,
What?
like as you're reading it, you like the characters, and like things are gonna get worse. And things are gonna get worse and worse for them. But I'm only like a third of the way through the book. Hopefully, I doubt it. Hope things get better. Hope things get better, buddy.
Yeah. Hope things get
better. Oh God.
Yeah, I just kind of been like perusing Mel Brooks's biography.
Who's Mel Brooks?
He's a Jewish comedian.
Wait, what?
He's the comedian behind.
He's a Jewish comedian?
Well, he's a.
Who would have thought?
He's a comedian who is Jewish. You know, he's the creative mind of Spaceballs and History of the World, Young Frankenstein.
That means he's the creative master behind them combing the forests. The giant fucking afros. I know you would.
It's funny.
It's so fucking funny.
The merchandising.
Oh my God.
Spaceballs the T-shirt. Spaceballs the cereal brand.
The Swartz.
It's you know that's actually my cousin's surname.
You know, it's interesting. I'm surrounded by Swartzes in my life, actually.
Well,
at work and stuff. I'm serious. My boss
is a Schwartz.
Yeah.
Huh.
Very nice person.
What's their first name?
I don't want to reveal their gender or anything like that.
What's their postal code? What's their
Where they live in?
What's their address? What's their apartment number? What's
yes? The answer you're asking, I believe, is yes. Nobody said nothing, but
what's their social security?
Yes. Yes.
Back. But to relate back to goings on and events. Apparently, History of the World Part 2 is coming out on Hulu soon. I don't know why I'm plugging this for them, but
because you were gonna write it.
Because I really wanted to.
You really wanted to write it.
I really wanted to write it, but
to be honest, we didn't think it was gonna happen.
I totally
no, 100%. We thought that.
I kind of thought
he was gonna die before it happened. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's a very old man. He's a very long-lived man. I wouldn't say he's very aged. Like he's still pretty spry. I've seen interviews with him like within the past couple years, and he's still got it. I mean,
all right, I'm gonna look for a modern picture of Mel Brooks. Hold on.
He's got, I guess, more cognitive ability than I would give most people within like a 20-year radius of him. Know what I mean?
Yo, he's kind of looking good.
He is. Is there such thing as a Zandpaw?
Oh my God.
Zampy?
Yo, come on. Look how good he looks.
You dick.
Hold on. I don't think they can see this. Hold on. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Here, look. Wow. Oh God, I'm doing this to myself. Hold on. You ready? James, here. Put it here. Hey. Do it, please.
We'll edit that in post.
Well, yeah, we'll edit that. You know what? I'm not gonna do it.
Just keep it as is.
I just think it. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, because you know what editing.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funnier.
You know what editing and post is?
What?
Revisionist history.
Oh, it's revisionist history. It's changing the truth.
It's not stating the facts, and it's presenting false realities.
I saw there's a guy on TikTok who does like history, and he was talking. I wish I was looking for it, but then I got high and I didn't. So his father was in Vietnam, and one of the big things that
wait, the war?
Yes.
Okay.
And one of the things that that spurred the war was a thing that happened supposedly. I don't remember because, again, I was high, but this thing was not real. It was made up. It was like a piece of propaganda,
like a false flag operation.
Like, yeah, it was. They were like, apparently it was an attack or something that never happened.
Oh, is this the Oh fuck! It's the one.
It's right here.
The Bay of
It's Bay of something, yes.
Yeah, it's the one where they were like, oh, the fucking Viet Cong just launched a bunch of shells at us, so we fired back. And it was like, did they really launch a bunch of shit at you, or did you just launch a bunch of shit and then say they shot first?
Seeing that really took me. I'm not gonna say like I know what's happened. I'm a Black American. I know what happens to history, but it's interesting because it really struck me that I don't know anything really about the East and the history in the East, and everything that I know about it is likely just propaganda and not real information and or history.
Like it's how so? Like okay,
what's happening in Japan? Who's the president of Japan? Does Japan have a parliament? Do you know about the recent Japanese politician who was murdered, like in public?
Wait,
or how about the last one who was murdered on TV?
What?
And I'm not saying that not knowing about it, but like, you know, you don't know. And if you hear anything, it's probably not things like these things.
Well, because there's history that's like taught to us, and then history that like as you grow
as you grow up, you just walk down the street and you just learn about the Incan and Mayan Empire. You're just walking down the street.
No, I'm saying
somebody walks up to you.
As you grow up, you have lived certain instances in history, so you recall them differently than how they're either then portrayed looking back, or you're taught of revisionist history of how things went
this is
down.
Good now. Okay, because this is the one, right?
This is all right.
Which is like, only because you said it, slavery, right? Because like people talk about.
I didn't say
no, it's revisionist history, right?
Yeah,
right. So, this is the thing I love about history and how it's just been manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
You look on TV at news.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's fake news. I don't know nothing about new news.
It's,
you know,
we'll say it's blank news.
It's creatively messed with news, and they talk about
it's. We'll say primetime news is to juice what like the Mio squirters are to juice.
So recently, there's like some kids and they're in college and they're suing because the colleges don't want to teach them like critical race theory or some shit. I'm joking. They don't want to teach Black history topics like slavery, because teaching slavery, in order to teach slavery, you have to teach about racism, right?
Right.
So we live in an age where people are actively trying to mess with history.
God, it's so frustrating.
And it's interesting because then I just make me hyper aware of how much I don't know. I have no idea what's happening in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
There's so much history.
There's so much history.
And like things are always happening. It's so hard to keep track of all of the things. But what frustrates me is when we're told, or like we kind of get in this mode of believing things that are just blatantly not right.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just. This is a more benign example. I think this. All right. What instigated me wanting to have this conversation was I watched the documentary on HBO, which which one I'm talking about, but I don't necessarily want a platform like what.
I don't know what's happening. Listen, I don't know. There people things. I mean, listen.
There were a lot of interviews with people who were caught
hold
up
on.
in the
you know what?
January
I'm gonna
6th.
just wait, hold on. Okay, it's called This Place Sucks. We cannot platform Andrew Callahan.
No, that's
if anything, I hope he can platform. Don't do that. But if you get mad at us for talking about you, I'd like that. Thank you.
I'm not worried about him getting mad at us for talking about him. I'm
not worried about them getting
other people.
Wait, I'm not saying I love.
Like how dare They
one of the
support
one of the 200 people.
Don't diminish our audience.
No, I love them. I'm just saying.
They are legion, and they will die for us. Anywho, there were a lot of interviews with people that seem to just have a very distorted view of history, and I'm no historical academia, but I'd studied a lot of history in my college times, and I like to think that was one of the big takeaways was not necessarily knowing all the things about history, but knowing how to put things in perspective of history.
Wait, you mean that when you go to school, they're not supposed to just throw facts at you? They're supposed to teach you critical thinking?
Yeah.
So that
Wild,
so
right?
that when people put information in front of you, you don't just like
you can just like be like, hey, this doesn't sound right. Like there's a cognitive dissonance.
The smell test.
It doesn't pass.
That like it seems like it's instinctive, but it's not. You have to learn it.
It's a muscle.
You
gotta flex it.
Like you don't just start being able to do that. You see people behaving disingenuously. You see information that's incorrect. You start to see the patterns and how people and all those things.
Cognitive dissonance was developed as a psychological tool to help us try to understand our world, not try to bury our heads in the sand.
I love puppies. Eat bacon. I'm not mad at it. That's how humans work.
That's just how it do. You know, I'll even say I love little pigs in a blanket.
Listen, I'm vegan and I think bacon smells good.
It too.
And like every time I smell bacon, I don't immediately like collapse into like a heap thinking about how this is a living creature that I don't need to eat because I have the ability to not do it because I live in Brooklyn and have money to not. Like, fuck, it smells good. And I should feel bad, but like, that's not how we function.
It's just,
if we functioned otherwise, then I was talking to someone about the way that we view, right, the world. And humans, we do memory. Humans are super big on memory.
Yeah, because we like patterns and shit.
But it's very flawed.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, go on. Sorry. Yeah.
No,
You're right.
It doesn't. We don't remember things correctly. You think you remember what I said 5 minutes ago, but I don't. So how do you? You know what I mean? Like, and there are things and moments in my life that I remember so vividly. And I know that they did happen that way. Just like I know, I was sitting with my ex in like a diner, and I remember we were sitting, I remember the booth we were in, I know what they look like, the place is still there. So that memory is so vivid, but I can't remember the smells. I remember the conversation with the woman at the thing, but I don't really remember her face.
But I'm sure if you smelt the smell that was in that diner at the time, it would take you back there.
But also, I could believe you could tell me that it was the smell.
And
what if it was 50 years later and I don't remember where it was in the Bronx exactly? You could take me to a different diner that's 1 block over, so it's very close, and just tell me that's the diner.
And you're pretty suggestible.
I just think everybody's a little suggestible. Okay.
So there's another of the books that I've been dabbling in reading lately.
Oh, one of the books.
The
book.
No, I'll read like 3 different books at a time, but only like 2 pages every week or so from each book.
Is it ableist if I make fun of how slow you read? Only you can decide.
Do you have a good joke about it?
Do you have a good joke, period? Oh, fuck. That's the wrong one. Damn it. Damn.
I left the silence there for you.
Damn. I didn't. Oh, fuck. It's because I don't have like to switch the thing. Anyway,
the book was talking about how the human brain evolved to remember things with a bias towards survival. So like you tend to remember like formative experiences are ones that are around like either life or death situations or perceived life or death situations. And so when you look kind of back at how our history is remembered, it's only like the main points that are taught in schools are just the major life or death situations. And, you know, of course, good guys always win.
and of course, like, to be fair, like political discourse, like period, is often left out of like school books. Like it's always the "I have a dream" speech, not the other one where Martin Luther King was talking about the white liberals or whatever.
Or the one where he was talking about how we have to dismantle capitalism in order to.
I'm just saying, like they don't put those in there,
Or they don't even put the ones in there about like how Malcolm X later in life was like, hey, Jews ain't that bad.
Because I mean, one of the things,
it's like the amount of rhetoric around the radicalization of progressively political groups and figures is astounding once you get outside of the like general public academia bubble. But then what I've been noticing on TikTok is a lot of armchair historians, not even just like armchair conspiracy theorists who start saying shit that are just like blatantly not centered within the context of what they're saying.
And this goes back actually to what you were talking about. We're talking about critical thinking, because there's like somebody that I saw on TikTok who I don't follow, but I follow history TikTokers. But I'm on the right side because this person,
not on the left side.
I guess they're Jewish or whatever, and they were talking about they were talking about the history of the area, and they were talking about how the land of Israel is really Jewish land, and if you're a historian, I'm not one, but if you are one, that that's not true.
If you're if you're any sort of like social science expert, you'd be like, there is no Jewish land. We're a nomadic people until like some other time period.
But of course, like this person. So this is why history is complicated. It's about biases. This person who shares a lot of my values is calling people who were like anti-Zionists anti-Semites.
And that's not the same though.
But you know what? To be fair, it can be dangerously close in the right spaces.
Yeah.
In the right it can be.
Well, that's kind of how a lot of anti-Semitism kind of is I think being promoted these days. It starts out with a little anti-Zionism, and then I'm not going to say it's a slippery slope because they are very different slopes.
So,
but
I see
there is an overlap in the Venn diagram.
You have this, and this makes a lot of sense. You have this note here that I lost. It's what false facts do you always want to correct people on? And the reason why that jumped out at me is because we're talking about Kanye and things like that, and it's like I didn't realize, like, I spend a lot of my time like I'm just hanging out, vibing, and like a stranger like is like, man, it sucks I can't get food stamps because 40,000 immigrants were dropped here and they're getting food stamps and being put in a 5-star hotel. This is something that I heard, and I'm like, what? You can't get food stamps, and you think they can? They're not citizens, and they were dropped here by a fucking nut job who follows your political ideology, maybe? I don't know.
Like,
or whatever.
This is y'all's party.
Like,
what are you talking about?
Really fucking weird. But I hear these things every day, or I hear people who are very well-meaning who are like, oh, and they're like, but haven't you seen the Cybertruck, Elon Musk? And the history revisionism is in everything. Elon Musk and his George Santos. You can just lie.
You could just
and you can make up your own history. You can write it. You can make up.
You could just keep the lie. It doesn't even have to be the singular lie going. That's the whole thing that I think is hilarious about the big lie conspiracy theory of QAnon. Bro, it's just a series of consistent bullshit that you're fed on a regular basis. There is no big lie. It's just all lies all the way down.
And it's so interesting because I feel like, so I got my It's all about the conspiracy theories, man.
Like everyone's a little fucked up. Right?
Everybody's kind of like, but like you think about yourself and you say, well, I don't lie. Are you telling me that you've never like been dishonest to a friend or to a family member to save their feelings? If you did that at work, you do that sometimes. Do that at work and you work as a senator in Congress, you might do that. Everybody's a person. They're an individual. They have biases. That's just...
You ever been working a service job and someone comes in with a real stank attitude and they want something? You say, oh, sorry, we're out of it. And you're not actually out of it.
No. You know why? Because I'm a fucking slave to capitalism.
Oh.
I would feel bad.
I'm
lying. I used to do that shit all the time.
Right. Okay. That's the big lie.
Do you have any pumpkin spice? And I'd be like, now. Actually, yes. Because I actually think it's not fair to make fun of you. The people I didn't like were the fucking, excuse me, can I get a venti unsweetened, no water black iced tea, Raven Simone, which I know because I watched a video where she said that's actually her name is pronounced. But like they Americanized her name, But whatever. She was not nice.
They revisionist history'd her name.
They came in there and ordered 4 Trenta, no water, no ice. It's like tea concentrate. How you trying to save money? You rich. Did I remember that correctly?
Child actor. I don't know, man. Did you remember it correctly?
I probably didn't.
Or did
what
you
if,
just...
What if, by the way, I don't even think it's Simone. I think I pronounced it wrong. I remember a video in which she corrected people on how her name actually is, but she said it's fine to call me Simone because that's obviously what the public brand is. But guess what? I don't remember how she pronounced it. So I said Simone. I'm probably wrong. They probably were nice to me.
But then why would you remember it so...
So I remember not liking the interaction, but to be honest, I think I was being dramatic. But because it was so long ago, I only remember the drama. Or here's a question. Oh, this is fucked up. Have you ever told a lie? Oh, this is off the rails. Have you ever told a lie for so long that you think it's real? Because I did that one time.
That's a good question.
That sounds so fucking psycho, but I was literally a lie I told when I was like 5 years old. And I think I've been telling this minor lie my whole life. And now I'm not sure if it's a lie or not.
Okay, the details are real hazy, but there are instances where, like in high school, I was hanging out with my group of friends in various settings, and like certain inside jokes would have transpired. And so
y'all used the F word, and y'all were calling each other gay.
I'm not going to deny the sins of my past, but that's not where this is going. It's more just like, I think either I have or someone else has taken credit. Like I've witnessed the taking a credit of saying something that you either didn't say, or like one of those, like, I don't know, it was in a group of people. I don't know if I said it or someone else said it or something or other, but it was said. And whether or not whatever the thing was, but just in those situations where then in the retelling of the story, it tends to just, the details get obscured to time.
There's this like short story I wrote that's so fucking good. The first page is like really good, and I stole it. Oh. I remember going online, finding it, and taking it. But I don't know if that's true. Because this was so long ago. When I say it was long ago, like this piece of work is very short, but it holds up to today. And I wrote this when I was like 14. So it was a very long time ago, right? So I don't remember. But I remember taking it. But trust me, I've looked it up. I've never published it or nothing because I felt like I would feel bad or whatever. But like, I've looked. I have absolutely looked. I even took out individual phrases and stuff, like the part, you know what I mean? And the only thing I've ever found is when I posted it as an excerpt in like a blog a long time ago.
So you just kind of.
So I'm not sure if this thing
has
that
it just been internalized into reality.
Like, no, did I steal it, or did I write it?
Do you remember stealing it?
I thought I did, but then I realized that I remember the story.
False memories are wild. Oh, now we're gonna end up getting into the whole like Mandela effect and like
That's racist.
which part?
Okay. It's the Mandela effect.
Oh, you're right. It's not the Mandela. It's the Mandela. Because Mandela is
because they thought he died or some shit.
In prison.
People remember him dying, which is like weird and racist. It's just weird because like I don't know, he didn't die. He got out. It was a big thing.
Yeah, he then became president.
Right?
Like for a while.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't just a one and done presidency either.
I'm just saying, but you're right. A lot of the things are like the Kazam.
Oh, Kazam Shazam.
That I remember. Kind of, but I know better. I know it's not true.
There's a preview for it.
No way. It's not real. That's from Saturday Night Live.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I know what you're talking about.
But no, I don't want to get down that whole rabbit hole. I want to just get into So my favorite compulsive correction of false history facts is completely benign. But it's when people talk about like Nicholas Copernicus or Galileo being burnt at the stake by the church for saying that the Earth isn't the center of the solar system, or for saying that the Earth is round, or
I did not know that one.
Which one?
That
any of it?
I didn't know that was like a thing.
So the people be like, oh, they came. Look, it's at a time at one point. Maybe some people were burnt at the stake for some heresy.
But didn't Nicholas Copernicus like die old or something?
Yeah, he was old as fuck. No, he was a monk. Like he was a monk scholar, and he died peacefully in his sleep. And then like the year he died, they found what he'd been working on, and they were like, "Oh shit, this guy's onto something." And they published his works the exact same year because they were like, "Oh." He died so that we could learn about the solar system.
Wow.
He was the one who said the Earth was the center. Or not Earth, the sun was the center of the solar system.
Yeah.
Everything revolves around. And then Galileo is like, hey, there's other planets that also have their own gravitational stuff, and like they have their own moons, and like because he was saying some shit where he's like, hey, maybe Earth isn't as special as we think it is, because I got this here telescope and I'm looking at some neat stuff. I got these kind of like cool ideas about science that actively challenge the authority of the church. And the church was like, hey man, can you just shut the fuck up? And he was like, pay me. And so they just said, all right, stay home for just house arrest, because really what you're doing is like a political thing, and we don't need to make it all political. Like, keep doing your science, keep looking at your stars.
Keep doing your things.
Keep doing your things. Write it down. We're gonna need this for the future. But
wait,
right now,
is that how the Vatican has like a astronomy thing?
Yeah,
because they have like a whole thing. They have like a science thing.
Before the scientific method was developed, like empirical studies and stuff, science was done as it was called natural philosophy, and it was basically monks and people who were really super about God and like academics, because like at that point the only people who were really doing
the DJ,
no, that's Alchemist.
No, I'm saying like was it the Chi-Town, DJ Academics?
Oh, that one. No, they were into alchemy too.
All right.
They were more Hot 97 a crowd back in the Middle Ages. Honestly, they just had a bunch of monks and and students and stuff going around. They're like, "Hey, you like God so much? He created all this shit. Learn about it." And the church was like, "Yeah, fucking hire people to learn about shit." That's like Game of Thrones has like their meisters and stuff. And they're supposed to be like mystics. No,
Yeah,
they're just fucking book nerds.
But then, that's true though, because it just turns out like to them it's magic, but they're really just like finding herbs and shit.
They're just doing a whole lot of book learning.
Yeah, they're just doing book things. It's so crazy because you mentioned this, and when I first saw that, it blew my fucking mind because there was one thing that jumped back into my mind. I remembered that Christopher Columbus found America because he was trying to figure out if the world was round.
Oh, bullshit.
And he was trying to get to India by going west.
Well, that whole logic contradicts itself right there. If the dude thought he was trying to, well, I guess if he was trying to prove the world,
he knew that there was something there.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They were trying to discover. So he was like, give me money, we'll discover. And they went and then they found something. They did not think that they were going to India. They knew how to go to India.
Yeah. Well, so you know what's actually really funny about Christopher Columbus is that like he was basically he wasn't a flat earther, but he was what flat earthers are now to navigation then, where people were like, hey, we've kind of known how big the earth is due to like obelisks and measuring shadows and stuff since like the Greeks. We kind of have a good idea of how big this shit is. And he's like, wait, what if it's actually a lot smaller than we think it is? And what if we can just sail around and get to India? And they were initially in Italy, because he's Italian, they're like, you're fucking stupid. That's a dumb idea. That even if there's nothing on that, your whole projection of maps right now is not, like, that's not a thing. You're dumb. You should feel bad.
you should feel dumb. Chris, Mr. Columbus, you're
So then he was like, fine, I'll go to Portugal instead. And he went to Portugal and he's like, guys, I got these maps. And they're like, you fucking idiot. Do you know how long we've been doing maps? We fucking run maps in this whole fucking continent. Who do you think you are? You coming up in maps in Portugal? If you're Marco Polo, you heard of him? Fucking idiot. And so then he goes to Spain, and Spain was like, we're trying to be like super Catholic right now. And so whatever contemporary science is saying about like the size of the earth and the age of the earth and all that stuff, we're just going to kind of take that with a grain of salt. Because, like, again, if God is like all about us, because we're super Catholic, and we love Jesus, and
we're the middle of the universe.
We're the middle of the universe.
You know, God made us.
So if like India's way the fuck over there, and we're the middle of the universe, and like, yeah, it's about halfway across. So sure, whatever. Go try it out. Go knock yourself out, little Chrissy Columbo. And and so then he managed to get the grant to go take his ships and do some just awful.
What are the names of the ships?
The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
Elementary school. Is that even true?
I only remember it because of Beastie Boys. Oh wait, is it Beastie? No,
I remember it from
Step Brothers,
Liberty's Kids.
Oh no, I remember it from Step Brothers. The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. I'll do you on the bottom when we drink a sangria. Yeah, just like there's some history facts that
Washington never chopped a cherry tree. The kite. Okay.
The kite wasn't a thing? I'm actually kind of heartbroken about that one.
Hold on. Where is it? I have it here somewhere. Because, okay, Ben Franklin discovered electricity.
I mean,
flying a kite? Electricity already existed.
Yeah.
Kites don't fly. They float. They hover.
I mean, and in a storm, too.
Fly.
It's turbulent.
Fly. Sky. By they're watching me and everything that I do.
All right, now hear me out. So what?
Keys?
What?
Kites?
Keys. Kites.
Cocaine.
Cocaina. He was getting the French tickler from the Caribbean.
George Washington. Wooden teeth? At first, I'm not going to lie, I'm susceptible. I was like, I read an article and I was like, George Washington. I just Googled like fake facts. And it said George Washington did not have wooden teeth. And I started writing, bad teeth? Think wooden? But then I read another article.
Did you find out what his teeth were actually
made
made
it's like
of?
His teeth are just made of different stuff. And that he did have, but it's not wood. It was like made of ivory. And people. Dark ivory. When they go like night soil, like night ivory. There you go.
Well, you know where he got it. The Ivory Coast.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh.
Is that one?
Oh,
no.
Man.
No,
I feel a little dirty.
No, that one.
In his mouth too.
Yeah.
And on his dick.
Because Martha Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, she had fake teeth too. I'd think she'd just kind of pop them out.
Nah, I feel like she like that. She tooth it. If they were wooden, you get a splinter. Splinter?
I
hardly knew her. Yo, listen, I feel like that's like the least funny joke ever. But for me, it'll be fucking forever. I don't care. You'll never fucking cancel me. I'm gonna tell you something.
Don't give up on the bit. Never.
Never.
Stop the bit.
Stop.
The bit is the only thing that matters.
Oh my God. I'm really excited for this next one. Whatever it is.
The other history fact that I think needs to be dispelled, especially in this era of like hyper masculinity, I guess. Sparta.
They was gay.
No, that was actually Thebes.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Thebes.
Lots of bathhouses.
But like Thebes was dope though. Like Sparta, not that fucking cool. It was an authoritarian state that was built on slave labor, and like the only reason they were good at fighting was because they didn't have to do any of their farming, because they just subjugated their their ethnic neighbors. And
so what I'm hearing is they're the alphas. I'm hearing that they're the best. I'm hearing in a free market economy that they saw a need and they fulfilled it.
They were communists. Well, I guess as close as you could be to communism at the time.
With slavery, I guess.
Well, yeah, because you got to think, like, you don't... Slaves aren't a class of people if they're not people. Again, this is all about understanding history within the context of history. This brings me back to, I saw a video of a guy talking about like...
I just heard you say that slaves weren't people, so... Canceled. Game over.
Well, it's been fun.
Continue?
Fuck, I'm out of quarters. Dude was doing a video where he was looking over some descriptions of Robert E. Lee in historical documents, and he was like, it says here that he was of dark complexion with certain other attributes that could be described
big
as...
ass juicy lips and that big old nose. This may cancel me. I'm edgy. Leave me alone.
Wait, when you say big old nose,
But like wide.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. I can't cancel you for that.
Come on.
And he was like, kind of makes you think, kind of makes you wonder, huh? What else is history covering up? And the argument that was being put forward was that maybe Robert E. Lee, the leader of the Confederate Army, may have had black ancestry. That was the argument being put forth by the video. But it's dumb. It is a dumb argument.
Wait, okay.
One,
why is it dumb?
Okay, first of all,
I'm gonna look up a picture of Robert E. Lee.
What do you
that
have,
totally exists?
What do you have to gain from making that argument? Albeit it was.
You can't be racist, and the Confederate flag can't be racist, and Robert E. Lee was black.
But also, the person who was making the argument was a young man who was a person of color.
Hey, James. Wait. Robert E. Lee.
Cut that in.
Robert E. Lee. Right here, buddy. Oh, my God. Look at this guy. Fuck. Hold on.
Oh.
That,
I can see it.
Oh,
the
yes.
Dark eyes.
Sure. The pallid complexion, the strong chin, the big nose.
And so, again, it's stupid not only because it's just like, what are you trying to argue here? But also, it's dumb and just you're reading history. You're reading he was like highlighting and reciting historical documents of like within the 15 years of Robert E. Lee's life. And so it was describing a man within the context of living in the 1800s. People in the 1800s didn't describe what we now know and describe as people of color as dark complexion. They had much harsher terms that at that point were just kind of used as like biological things. Like they were just
first ever book written about Africa, Portuguese person. And that's where they created whiteness. Like all the like disgusting like stuff about the natives. Because they went to Africa and the person wrote a book. And race and racism, that's Europeans.
Wait, you're meaning to tell me the white people of Europe who colonized are responsible for racism?
Just a little bit of racism. I think it's really telling and interesting. I know that they're really proud of it, but like chicken tikka masala is like the national dish
of Great Britain.
And I understand they're like, oh yeah, it's like a, like an Indian person or something. I don't know. They came and they became a native and like.
I feel like it should be molded bread.
But I just feel like they just like even they're like, I don't know. It just feels weird. It just feels like something that a racist country would.
But no, it
just seems like something you do if you were like, hey, maybe if we make chicken tikka masala the national dish, they won't think that we're gonna colonize. Oh, we're not gonna colonize you.
No, it was done to. What I think is kind of weird about it is not that it's the opposite of like, hey, so sorry we colonized you, but you're probably wondering what you get out of it. Well, hey, look at our national dish, huh? That's you, buddy.
I'm going to read. Oh, my God. I love this. I picked the page. I didn't look at it. I don't know what the page is. I'm not looking at the URL. And maybe it'll be here. This is going to be 10 things you don't know about Robert E. Lee real quick. He did not grow his light beard until his life. He was largely responsible for opening the Mississippi River. He was frugal with money. I'm going to skip forward because this is one of he loved to flirt. He slept in a modest soldier's tent. I wonder what kind of website this is.
Modest soldier's tent.
Hold on.
Sounds like
he disliked slavery and abhorred secession. Something tells me. Let me look at the title of this website here. What does this say? The Imaginative Conservative. Oh, wow. There's definitely some fucking imagination going on there, bud.
But Robert E. Lee, he's just like, when LeBron left Cleveland, he didn't want to leave his home, but, well, gosh darn it, the money's too good when you're playing in the South.
Fuck. I was looking up Robert E. Lee Black. I'm trying to find positive things out about Robert E. Lee.
But like I've seen a couple of videos lately that are just like these kind of like half-assed, like,
but you know why?
Their whole thing is just kind of makes you wonder.
No, but you know why, right?
Why?
Because Martin Luther King Day is Robert E. Lee Day. There are places that celebrate both, or they don't celebrate Martin Luther King Day. As out of spite, they celebrate Robert E. Lee.
Yikes. Oh no.
The fact that there's like a town, like I'm not fucking around. I'm not trying to be like, oh, Ohio or some shit. I'm gonna be like most of the places that's not happening. But the fact that there's 2 small towns somewhere with like the 10 worst people, I'm being generous, just that like have a sign that says, don't say, what did the sign say? We celebrate Robert E. Lee Day, not Martin Luther King Day. Or the one Dunkin' Donuts had a sign that said Happy Martin Luther King / Robert E. Lee Day.
At the Dunkin'? Oh no. That's upsetting.
Georgia has Robert E. Lee is a state holiday in parts of the southern U.S. commemorating Robert E. Lee. Texas made it a day in 1931. It's called Lee Day. Florida has a Robert E. Lee Day too, January 19th. Isn't that the same day as Martin Luther King Day? I'm not sure. I think it is.
I think so.
I think so as well. So Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas.
This actually brings me to another point I had here. If you could change just a couple facts for posterity.
You fucking had me laughing so much earlier because you said, I was like, this is really funny. And you laughed and you were like, because there are so many things. And I was like, slavery.
No,
I'm black.
No, I'm
what
not,
other one would it be?
I'm not saying you change.
No, if I could change
the fact that it happened, I'm saying you just change the way it's recorded.
The way it's recorded.
Yeah, so you're just changing the fact about it. Like it's just the way it's remembered, the way it's recorded. The thing still happened. But I'm saying if you had the power to revise history in that way, I think I'm going to start out and say that Robert E. Lee Day would actually be changed to Bobby Lee Day. And so then the places who continue celebrating it then have just no idea who the fuck they're talking about. Because I guarantee the people who are celebrating Robert E. Lee Day don't know who Bobby Lee is. Or maybe they do. I don't know.
There's a song by the group ICP called Fuck the World. And in it, I'm blind, so I got to zoom in. There's a line that says, you know the guy that operates the Rouge River drawbridge in Delray on Jefferson? Fuck him. If I could change one fact in history, I would change... After this song came out, it had a very tepid reception. This is a very minor, small thing, but I would like for this song to have a small bit of controversy. And for the person who operates the Rouge River drawbridge in Delray and Jefferson to go and to hear the song. Then, I'm going in. But this is not real. Do I want you to understand? This is history of it. This is like there was drama. Just a little bit. This is like a YouTube video. I'm making Robert E. Lee. This is what happened.
This is
what happened.
This is what happened.
And then the guy hears the song. Maybe this could have happened because he's in the song, which means they know him and they know he exists.
They know,
which means he's a real person.
An assumed relationship.
Which means he's from the area they're from and they're popular. Which means he did hear the song. And all they need is a news article that could have been written. And he could have sued them and won $1 million. He could have.
He could have. That could have.
That's the kind of thing.
Happened.
I know you're thinking, how is that changing? it's the smallest, stupidest thing. I would like to just
it's a very benign
make up
thing.
I would make a YouTube video and I would just make it up. And hopefully it would change and then maybe now he would see that and think that happened and think that people thought that.
And maybe he'll believe that it happened.
And then he would
hard.
think that
he'll
people
really wanted
he
it
would
to
think
happen.
that people really had his back and feel like really encouraged.
And with if this gets enough traction, then we could effectively.
I can't imagine, like, what is it? I'm not the fucking. What do you see? Brave New World? No, not Brave New World. Fucking 1984 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine changing a fact about history. You know what am I gonna do? Be like, because like the Holocaust happened. So now I changed it. So now everybody knows. Because some people don't know. So for them, I'm changing it.
Do they not know, or do they want to not know?
I'm being generous. They don't know about the Holocaust. They heard it and they thought it sounded, that sounds French. Oh no. Your ancestors.
Croissant.
That's a piece of history that I wish I could change. Is I wish that there was a piece. See, you're thinking in limited scope. Because how can I change the history? How can I change the history?
No, but right? I'm not saying you're changing history.
I want to change how the history is presented. Right?
Yeah.
So I want to change in a small piece of a review that the person who operates the Delray Bridge in Jefferson read the art. I want that because I want him to have read the article and for it to have changed his life. Just like I want on Fox News for Tucker Carlson to accidentally, right, be like, the Holocaust was real because he was having maybe like the hot mic. Too bad, and he was actually finishing a conversation. It's like, of course the Holocaust is real, but I'm just doing a TV show because obviously this is not real.
And he just denounces all the other bullshit that he's ever said.
Like, a little piece of media can change, because that's the thing about history and false history, right?
Yeah.
So like the reason I'm like making up a whole story, because you're gonna be, you're like, oh, I changed an article. You literally, I saw the fucking post today, and it had like a fucking funky title, because like the post is wild. Osama bin Laden died. It was like, got him. The post like does that, and they have like really funky, like really conservative reporting. So like so it's like wild, and the news and the history, and it's like right skewed, right? So if I could change any piece of history, it'd be minor. It would be just to change how like the Holocaust is presented in like conservative media, because that would eliminate, I think, especially like a lot of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I mean, you're using it for a lot of altruism. You're kind of getting away from the spirit
I'm
of the,
sorry.
Of the thing. Like, I'd say something like, I don't know, Babe Ruth was a woman and managed to just
Babe Ruth was a woman.
Exactly.
If they wanted to be, I don't know that if you want to go down that path there. Continue to do you think that they are, what would they have called Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth. You hit that many fucking home runs in a season, you just get called Babe fucking Ruth. You're the Bambino. The only thing that would change is they may say Bambina.
The quickness. The fucking quickness.
But that's the part of history where it'd be like, it's a benign thing supposedly, but like when you look about some issues on a larger scale and you think like, oh, well, these people that are heralded as like as major icons of masculinity, you can undercut and subvert that and just be like, oh yeah,
that's actually very interesting. You're right, because there's like,
fuck it, Sacagawea was black. No, I can't say that one because that's erasure of indigenous cultures.
This is some low shit. I used to have.
I take that one back though.
Don't know the story of Sacagawea, even though as a child I had a very adult long book on tape of Sacagawea, like a book that I used to listen to all the time, from beginning to end. And you could have said that, and I would have believed you.
Right.
I actually would have believed you. How do I know? Actually, to be honest, when you backed off, I thought to myself, maybe she is.
Oh, no. No, that's... I don't support the erasure of indigenous cultures.
I'm kidding.
I can't take that. I won't stand for this on this podcast.
You won't.
What I said was in satire. And I think you just took it too far.
I can't even imagine. Like, what is a piece of history? Give me. What, I don't understand. What, like,
okay, so the thing about like Hannibal led the elephants over the Alps. Fuck it. He also invented chocolate. Swiss chocolate is because Hannibal brought cocoa beans from Africa through the Swiss Alps, made Hershey's.
Hitler didn't love his mother.
I don't even know if that one's false. That could.
I don't know, but they always say Hitler loves his mother. Like you watch like a Steven Crowder talk. Like, I don't like Hitler, but you know he did a painting once.
Right. It's just but you gotta separate the art from the art.
I just like every time I just wish I had some 1984 power sometimes, but I don't want to do that. I'm not a fascist. I promise.
Looks to the camera immediately.
But you could change one little piece. It would be like, because the thing is like Babe Ruth is a woman. Oh, let that, like, for some reason, let there have been like you know what happened with Doctor Who is like a lot of the early season stuff is missing because it just got lost, right?
Yeah.
So let's say for some reason all the season, like the whole baseball season for 2 years, like the records are there, but like stuff got lost. And like it's been like 10 years, and that was kind of a long time ago. So for some reason,
or it's just in a time where you could like pay off the physical.
People really think that Babe Ruth is a woman. Then you would not know about Babe Ruth now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they could have been passing, because there are other stories of like.
I just feel so uncomfortable with Babe Ruth being. I don't know what it is. Not that people understanding and coming to grips with their gender identity or whatever, you know, I'm just saying that I don't know what's going on with Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth is dead. I just
That's what I'm saying. It's an easy revision. You can just like, you could say like, oh yeah, there were actually a couple of biographies that came out after their death where they said that they had bound their chest regularly.
Babe Ruth
and they did
loved their mother, and
they paid off, you know, whatever like physical coaches and stuff to just kind of be like, hey, you're exempt from it. That's why they always showed up with like a cigar and stuff, because their whole shtick was being like, I'm too healthy for this, or I don't need all this bullshit, and then just fucking cranking home runs. Like the entire thing was a diversion tactic from the fact that Babe Ruth was biologically AFAB.
Oh my God, what is happening here? What is happening in this? Honestly, I actually, for some reason, why did I not? Yo, for some reason, I did not think they were AFAB.
Well,
I thought they were AMAB, and they were like, I completely just.
Well, that's because people didn't really know too much about gender identities back in the 1920s.
I can't believe this. Yo, I feel like this video from that time.
Yeah, but it's like barely. Super grainy. Yeah.
Okay. People didn't have hand washing standards did not exist in the United States as like is it like a standard, like the government's like, hey, wash your hands. Like, you know, the government doesn't make you wash your hands, but the government says you should wash your hands, right? So restaurants have to wash your hands. Until the 80s, that was not a thing. That was the 80s.
Until the 80s?
It was the fucking 80s.
God,
and I'm pretty sure it wasn't 86. But if you're a little bit older than me...
Because we've known about it since like the 1880s.
Well, apparently, people were just doing... Well, you know what? Remember, it seems like a joke, but you look at fucking like old TV shows about people in the fucking 70s, and the doctor's always smoking a cigarette with the pregnant woman. That's not fiction. That's not made up.
Sometimes... entertainment reflects reality, reflecting entertainment, reflecting reality back at itself.
If I could really change a history fact,
for the shits and gigs, not for like
for the shits and gigs.
Okay, yeah,
for the shits and gigs. Okay, do you not remember this? Okay, but there was a Royal Rumble.
A Royal Rumble?
Yes.
Mm.
Now I don't remember who was in it, but there were two people They both. I think it was Shawn Michaels.
Like a 1v1?
No. It's at the end of the Royal Rumble. 30 men enter. The first two.
30 men enter. Yeah. Talk about a fun Friday night.
Number 1 and 2 enter, and then it's like 3-minute increments or something like that, and then people come out over the top rope.
Oh, okay. You've shown me this before.
I believe
there's something along this line.
I believe that this was Shawn Michaels. Actually, no, fuck that one. There's one with Shawn Michaels and Batista, and this is very good because they're like going, and he's
Dave Batista, the actor.
Yeah, he's hanging on the edge of the ropes, right? And Batista like swipes his hands, and he falls to the ground, and he falls, and he's like so distraught, so emotionally distraught. I just want to change the history. That small piece, just like I want it to be in the Wrestling Observer, that Dave Meltzer, just as a small aside when he's writing about the show, that Dave Meltzer is not sure. It might be a rumor that Batista spat at Shawn Michaels. You know why? For the drama.
I love that.
For the drama.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to ask you one more question.
I love this.
Now, we've done a lot of revisionist history this episode. We've talked a lot about what we wish we could change.
Slavery didn't exist. In the forms that are portrayed in popular media and literature by I'm just trying to save myself.
Are you trying to diminish the severity of American slavery? Because it was awful.
What did Kanye say?
What do I?
Slavery's a choice.
James, do I have to tell you that slavery was bad?
Wait, slavery was bad.
It was not good. What are a couple history facts that are legitimate that you think are just super neat? I'll go first. One of my favorites is that Abraham Lincoln was a wrestler.
Yes.
He actually wrestled. He was like, he had a good gimmick, like a good shtick, a good gimmick. He was just a tall ass dude. He was he was Andre the Giant. He was the Great Khali. But he was old. Old.
I love how you're like change history and you're like having fun. I'm like serious. And this one you're like kind of serious. And I'm thinking to myself, like, my favorite history fact is the fact that people are trying to cancel Amy Winehouse because she like sang some like what the fuck is the name of that song? It's like some really ethnic kind of racist song. She's dead.
They're like trying to cancel Amy Winehouse.
I think the liquor
Guys,
did. I think it happened
already.
Did that. I'm not making fun of. I'm not making of addiction disorder. I'm just saying, a substance abuse disorder. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, you canceling dead people. Like the piece of history that I kind of wish I could change actually is like, just somehow just like the perception of like whatever was going on with Michael Jackson, but I don't want to decide what the change is. I want the change to be whatever happened, just so I didn't have to spend the last 20 years of my fucking life going into like black spaces. It's like 2023. You're like fucking in a black space. And people are like, so do you think Michael Jackson did it? It's 2023, Letitia. Come on.
He's been dead for a while now.
Fuck, 2009.
Really?
Yeah, he actually, the day that he died, my ex was at my house, and that was the day we started dating.
Are you fake historying me right now?
No, I'm for real.
For real?
In that apartment across the street.
Oh.
You met her. The tall one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the day we started dating. Because we had been
Michael
hanging
Jackson
out.
Died?
Kind of. Because we'd been hanging out. And Michael Jackson, I saw when I was a kid, because I live in Brooklyn, at the Hoyt and Skimmerhorn station on the other side where the Transit Museum comes through.
Wait, you saw like actual Michael Jackson, not just like saw of him as a
So
okay. Oh, whoa.
They filmed Bad, because you see it to the train station. That's the train station, the Hoyt and Skimmerhorn train station where you transfer from.
That's that one?
Yes, because you see this extra platforms.
For some reason, I always thought it was a parking garage.
One is green and the other one is white, tiled. And the one with the tiled, and you go upstairs, you don't see it, but there's like a whole unused platform. There's a whole unused like area. And my mother, it's like I was very little. My mother took me, and like he was like, "Oh, a baby," and like, and obviously like I don't remember this, but like my father loved Michael Jackson. I loved Michael Jackson, and so when this happened, I was like very sad. And we've been talking, and she was there, and like it was like, oh, and she stayed because I was sad.
Oh.
And hung out with me and shit. And listen, to be honest, he did it. I just want the history to change so that it was very clear. Like somehow,
like if it just either exonerated or
like just fucking send him away. Like, come on. Like, I just don't want to hear it. You know how long it's been? You know what I mean? Like, I would love to hear. I would love to hear a rumor about something like a piece of history, because all news is as long as it happened, it's history. And I know I'm using like recent stuff. I'm like, oh, Copernicus. What the fuck does that mean? Like, I live in a very modern day.
You're a modern man.
Napoleon.
So, okay, all right. You know where this came from? I've been watching Jeopardy a lot lately. It's really where this came from. Is I was watching Jeopardy and I saw a question and I was dead set that I had the right answer, and I went back and I was like, I've been
What
lied.
was the question? Don't give me the answer, but give me the question.
The question was,
I wonder if do you think I'll get demonetized if I use the Jeopardy theme? You know what? I'm making no money at this episode anyway, so what the fuck is going on?
And the thing that just had to go was what 4 countries make up the UK? And
okay. I don't like this. This is not good because I know all the countries, but I'm not sure which ones are the ones that comprise the UK. So I will go. The UK is the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
It is not the EU.
No.
Tricky. Jump in my head, making me think of the EU. Okay. Okay. England?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a city or a country?
You are correct.
Wait, which one? I don't know.
I'm just saying that's the right answer.
But that's one of a country though.
It's a country.
It's a country, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's England. Oh, okay. Fuck. Shit. Where do the Welsh people live? Wales.
There you
Wales.
go. There you go.
Fuck. Oh my god.
You got there.
Shit.
2 more.
Oh my god. I'm having a real fucking hard. Can I get a hint? Can I get a light hint? Like the lightest of hints. I need like a little kickstart.
Take a shot, but of something else. Something that isn't rum, but maybe.
No, I'm gonna say some dumb shit.
Maybe it's not an aged rum.
God,
maybe it's another type of.
Listen. If I say this,
spirit grain alcohol.
Oh my god, this is Scotland.
Yeah.
Okay, I got really scared.
All right, you got 3. You're 3 for 4 right now.
I don't know this, and I'm gonna say some dumb fucking shit right now. And I don't know this because I know nothing about it.
Is it
Ireland? The top half, the part that's connected to
which,
or is that in the EU?
Which direction?
Is that northern? Because I know in the map, I think it's Northern Ireland because that's the part in the top.
Okay, so yeah, Northern Ireland is correct.
It just took me a second.
I was full on convinced in my head that Northern Ireland hadn't had the full designation of a sovereign country or of an independent country. I thought it was more of like the relationship of America to like Puerto Rico. I thought it was a territory, not a country or a province. And upon further review, I was wrong. And I got heated. And I may have made a fool of myself. But then I was like, but wait, no. It's history that's wrong. It's not me, right? But,
it's you.
It's me.
It's funny because the whole time I was thinking like Ireland, but I was really scared.
Well, because it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
that Ireland isn't, but North Ireland is.
And I would get fucked up because my brother-in-law is Irish, and I'm always calling it Southern Ireland. I just know I'm gonna get. I'm not. I just don't begin. I just know. I just know it's gonna happen.
Well, with that,
that's pleasant. That was quite good. I'm so satisfied.
We got a lot of history covered in this.
Oh, this is great. I didn't expect this. Wow, that was great.
I think it's important that as we learn history, we really do it within the context of the people who existed there. And we also have to remember that throughout a lot of human existence, people didn't have adequate drinking water. And so in order to make sure that their drinking water was sanitary, they would add spirits, alcohol, and wine, beer, etc. So
oh shit, that's one I hate. That's one of the fucking things I hate when people talk about. Oh, they didn't have clean water, so they were drinking beer. That shit is. They called it beer.
It was not.
But that's not anything like. It's like 1%. I mean, they were drunk because they're drinking it all day.
Well, and they were just ingesting whatever fucking plants. Like, I'm not gonna diminish the intoxication levels of our ancestors. People were putting lead on their faces and shit, which that one might also be another myth where it's like they might have known that lead was toxic, but I think at the same time they kind of did the thing where they're like, well, it's toxic, but beauty is pain.
Well, there's the one where there's the fake history, Wizard of Oz, with the Tin Man being allergic to his makeup. But it's not true. They didn't have color pigments because pigments, like color pigments, there's like micro like. It's like, and then the thing
Once
is like
you get into like the
it's like
thermodynamic.
Yeah, it's like
like
fucking wild. But they didn't have that, so what they did was they made aluminum and they powdered it, and they just put it on his face.
Jesus.
And he breathed it in, and after like 3 weeks, he had severe health troubles.
That's why he was leaning all.
He was replaced. Actually, that's the next guy.
Oh shit.
They took the aluminum and they mixed it into like a cream to make it into a paste.
At least he wasn't inhaling.
So he was still having a little bit of issues.
But he still had powdered aluminum.
So there you go.
Oh. Anyway,
I had to get it out there.
No, that's fair. It's a message to us all. Don't
we could do this fake because what's fake history? Like fucking even songs. Because the memory is like weak. You think you know the lyrics to like a song. You would sing that shit forever.
And you think it's one way, and then it's actually not.
I'm blue or green, I would die.
Dabble dee dabble die.
But actually, the song has both.
It does?
Yes. Oh. It has words and it has a chorus with the.
I know the instrumental version.
Oh, of course. The original, the B-side.
The B-side, the
back before
unreleased cut.
Back when it was la la li la la la. From the original French inspiration.
Actually, it was it was Yiddish first. It was dibble dee dibble da. I'm blue, dibble dee dibble da. And it was in a minor key too.
Oh fuck. Oh, because minor.
What?
Minor.
I hardly knew her.
You're so... All right. Fake history.
This has been Was That in Good Taste?
Oh, where can you find you? Me.
You can find me at Chandler Does Jokes on Instagram or at
I'm playing this song, so I couldn't find what the other one was.
Also, if you ever want to just learn about random food stuff, I write articles for the Daily Meal.
A+.
Is that something to plug? I don't know.
You're right for it.
I write for it.
So with respect, A+. Good things, respect.
What do you
Daily
got?
Meal. Of course, as always, you can find me at What Funny Friend on the Twitter. You can also find me. Apparently, I've been kicking it on Tumblr. Don't look for me there because it's getting real weird. And I shouldn't have mentioned it. Actually, I gotta.
It's okay. We're all plugging stuff we shouldn't tonight.
Of course, you can always find us at Facebook.com// / was that in good taste. You can always shoot us an email at wasthatingoodtaste@gmail.com and YouTube, all that stuff. As always,
drinking's not always required,
but it is
recommended.
Which one of these do you think is the?
Try the purple one.
This one? This is it.